I'm thinking of a chord progression. It's C, G. Often this is where I start, thinking of chord progression. C. Then walk down to the 6th chord, and the cycle fits to D7. But then I hang out on the G chord, G, G. 3 times. Then a 2-5-1, and then another 2-5-1. That's a song for me. It's a kind of crazy song. Then I try to improvise over that. I'm gonna go with the 6th chord. 2. 2-5-1. Yeah. Melody. But it's a swing song, it's a cycle, and it was inspired a little by the morning jam session. We played Ka'ua Loku, is a song about Hawaii. There's also a song called Hana 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 Lei. Alfred Olehikea, he was the composer that wrote these really fun, upbeat swing songs. But so, right from there, this is the way that I try to do things. That often I'll let go of everything. Okay, the complete opposite. I need to calm down right after. And so this is the next thing that I came up with. Okay, I'm in drop C. So it's a different. All right. But could you think of as I was playing that, like a form? So that's one thing with songwriting thinking. There are different types of songs. So some of the Hano Hano Olinda and many songs that we learn have a repeating cycle. It's a short verse. It's often 10 bars long, 8-bar vocal phrase, and a 2-bar vamp. This has a couple 2-4 bars kind of tucked in there. The song that I just played, the first song, the swing song, had that kind of idea. It was just one cycle that went around. This one had a verse and a chorus, so there are 2 sections. And often the first thing that I think of is just get a feel and just kind of vibe with it for a while, and then start to feel. Is this in the songbook? That what I just did? Yeah. I just wrote it like a few
you just wrote it?
ago.
Okay.
But yeah.
So in a vocal piece, like when there's a verse and a chorus, you know because the chorus is repeated.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like, what did that mean in your piece?
So in this, it was. There's this, and there's a melody. So there could be lyrics written. There is a melody I have in my mind. So that's basically the chorus.
So you did the same melody
Yeah.
each time you did the chorus?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And the verses?
The verse has a melody. It's there are variations. Yeah. It's C. Then D minor. 1 to 2, 5. Then 4. 1. The chorus is 5, or 4, sorry, to 6, A minor. Then a D minor, 2 to 5. If you start getting your chord cycles around, they're really helpful. Then I do 4, 5, 1, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. So often I think if there's a strong chord progression, often I'll just write down, make a little chord diagram. Then it gives you a foundation, and you can do variations and things. But then that's a place where I often start, is just trying to find a chord progression. And sometimes, if you're imagining the melody, I was thinking of, then I wanted to do a sequence of that. Then I was thinking, a lot of melodies have a phrase that repeats in some ways, like a sequence. You might move it to the next chord. Like how would a C chord, I'm in drop C tuning. Where'd you find a D minor? I love this big chunky big one. And then from here I go to G, and then F to C. Let's just try and play that chord progression. You can hum and... Oh yeah, so D minor, there are a couple ways of playing it. One is like standard tuning, but you put your pinky down 2 frets higher. But there's a really cool one, it's actually in the middle strings. You do a partial bar with your index finger. You cover really just the lowest 2 strings, you can kind of angle it, and then you get these 3 fingers in the middle. 3, 2, and you could do a bar, yeah. But I like doing this. Good, yeah, and then you grab that bass note there. And you don't play the high string. Or you could leave the high string open. Yeah, that's a really nice chord.
Yeah, and
a 3rd fret. So you want to tuck these underneath, like back of fret. And then this kind of leans over. Yeah, there you go. But 3rd fret with your pinky too. I didn't know it's there. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. I love that chord. That's a really nice. And at one point I go 2, 3 by moving it. Then I make it into the major version. And then 5, you can use the open strings as well. So something like.
That's just a great exercise.
Yeah.
Just doing that.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason why I'm talking about all this, I want all of you just to try to write something and see if you can start with a progression, some chords you've played before in a tuning, but just try to do a little cycle. And if in your mind you think, okay, I'm going to do this first cycle, then it's going to switch to another cycle, that could be a verse and a chorus, that sort of thing. Let's try to do that D minor. Isn't that a fat chord? Now a couple things. This is a minor shape, and in the I'm playing third finger, second, and pinky, and then I'm barring the lowest two. So it goes 2, 2, 3, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But a third fret. Down a fret, down a couple this way. There you go. Yeah, and then you just bar down there. Yeah. So if you, so okay, like Mike's just saying, you can move this up and down the neck. It's a minor shape, it can move anywhere. So let's do a harmonized scale and see. First of all, the C chord is like we do in Tarot Patch. Then you go, we're going to skip the high string or just play it open for all these chords. There's a 2 chord, move up 2 frets. There's E minor. There's a 3 chord. Now watch this, my third finger just opens up and my second finger moves up, then you get your major shape at the 5th fret. Yeah, move that up 2 frets. Now make it minor again, pivot on the 3rd finger. There's your A minor. You can kind of get away with moving up 2 frets, but you have to do this weird thing. So I often don't play this chord, or I leave it open, but basically the 6 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this 9th fret is a really good position. That's an A minor. You go from there 2 frets higher, then you get a G. So you'd find the F right now is good. Now move it up 2 frets. Good. Now 2 more frets, but make it minor again. Yeah, then it's going to move back underneath. There. That's a great position. Yeah, that's a really nice A minor. So if you leave the high string open, it could be. You can put it on any of the chords. Yeah. If you're doing Heiao, like you mentioned that you've been playing that one. F. So that song has a verse and a chorus. It starts, it goes C, goes all the way up to A minor, that goes to F, that goes back to C. So if you do these chords, you can kind of jump around the neck, but it sounds really cool. It's up high. A minor, then F. F, C, G7, F, I know the chorus for, I'm trying to remember this song, for some reason not remembering it perfectly, but I think it starts in A minor. Then it goes to F, D minor, and then it goes C to G. So that's the chorus part. It starts it out on the minor chord. Then it goes to F. That goes to D minor. So great practice for just kind of going along the strings with these shapes. Then C to G. Let's try to play the A minor, the high one. And really slowly, what I want to try to do, make sure we got this. It goes 9, 9, 10, 9, 10. You sneak your second finger where the bar on the same fret as the bar, and then you fill in the other fingers. Then when that moves down to F, your third finger and first finger there, they just kind of pivot. At the 5th position, you get the major shape. Then it pivots back to get the minor, D minor, in the second fret. And that pivots to get to C.
So that A minor is the same.
It's the same as a D minor, the one we did
it's
for D
like
minor.
this.
And then those are towards the floor, one set of the strings.
Ah,
And then that bar is kind of across. There, that's it, yep. I love that chord, it's such a nice chord. The melody's minor, major, A minor. What's nice is if you play Keola C, the same chord shapes are great. Then C. Let's try one more time. A minor. Make sure everybody's got that. 9th fret. Good. Then just let it fall to F, 5th to the 2 lower than that. That's 5th. There you go. So that's going to fall down to the 2nd. Minor again. Underneath, right at the 3rd fret. So tuck them back 1 fret. You're like this, and you just want to bring the fingers back. Yeah, there it is. Good, good, perfect. And then that covers right on the 2nd fret. Yeah. Weird chord, yeah.
Yeah, like you surround me off.
It's so unusual. Yeah, there isn't anything like it really.
Almost
Almost a diminished, like a diminished shape. You can think of that, but then you just let the finger fall flat to get the bass notes. You can borrow it. Yeah, that works nicely too. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
What's the one with the 5th fret again?
Okay, the 5th fret one, you use your 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the 2nd string, and then the 3rd finger on the 4th string. It's like C. It's basically turning the C chord into a bar chord.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Got it.
If you want to, in this tuning, the Keola C, you tune the high string up to an E, and you can just strum all 6, but you'd have to add the pinky on top. I often just leave it out, and it sounds fine. So the chorus of that song goes from C to F, A minor. No, C, A minor, F, C. Yeah. A minor, F, back to C. But that's a really nice concept. You could try to write some songs, just move those chord shapes around, see if you can find anything interesting. The minor versus the major, 2nd fret, 4th fret are minor, 9th fret's minor, and then you'll find the major 7 and 5 and open. That's your C scale, harmonizes. You can do a lot with that. If you don't have much of your practice time or you try to do this sort of thing, just add a little bit in there, even if it's like 10 minutes of just noodling around. You might surprise yourself and find something, ooh, this is something I want
Yeah,
to
that's
develop.
fun. That's good progression.
Yeah, yeah.
I also like.
Have a good lesson.
I like the D minor to F transition.
Yeah.
Is it Palahua? Is that the one by Amy?
Yeah, Polyphone has a minor.
That has that kind of D minor to F.
Yeah.
I always like that transition.
Yeah, so maybe that piggy pattern is so great. It's in the key of D. I find I do it in drop D.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a thought, and it's a process that I try to do. Where I'll write like a swing song, and then I'll write a different one. I'll play a little bit of a third song that I started with that's inspired by Ikiupa a bit. I don't know if I'll remember, but I often have. It's always good to have your phone nearby so you can record things and go back to it later. Just a little idea of starting.
Beautiful.
That's a little thing I found.
Nobody can hear Ihyuka, some of the concepts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So sometimes just as an exercise, just have a. But the idea is to find colors. So I found the first thing I started was like, wow, I could have just. But there's something about these notes moving up to. I'm going a G to a C, but I was just trying to find unusual ways to play. I did a C up here. Well, and I thought of another. These shapes, which I've never used before. And they're just sort of, this is a textural kind of song.
You could do a harmonic on that 12th.
You could absolutely. Or either harmonics of fire. But that's an interesting C chord. 10, and this is tarot cards. 10, 12, 10, then 12 on the second string. There's so many, one chord to a 4-chord vamp always sounds like it's a really sweet connection to chords. So you might just have that as an exercise. Okay, I'm in a certain tuning, I'm gonna play the 1 chord and the 4 chord and see if you can come up with anything. Let's go to tarot patch now. So go to the 6th string in D, and just experiment. Let's try to find on your own. Just look around. How would you play a G to a C chord? That's basically what the concept's going to be. See if you can come up with any ideas that might be unusual. Experiment. And a lot of times, what you might be doing is just try to add another fret in there. You know a G chord is open, but what would happen if you just held down a certain note and just listen to find a sound that you like? Yeah, maybe the 7th fret. That's a pretty note. Keep that when you go to C. And see if you can sort of connect. It's a really fun exercise. Yeah, that's pretty. That's great to get in the major 7th in there. And you're going to use your ear. You might hit a note that doesn't sound good. It's like, okay, play a fret above or below it, and it'll sound fun. I'll do a rhythm for you, and you just experiment. So 1, 2, 3, G, then C. That's the concept of the idea. I'm playing major 7 to C. But anything, just experiment with sound. Now, do you know a B minor? That's what I did. I did this crazy like bar chord with a big, some kind of B minor, then an A minor. play standard. It almost looks like the Stairway to Heaven chord. Now go to an E minor. I love this one. I'll stay there for a while. It goes 2, 4, 4, then that high string's open. The real sparkly, splashy chord. Nothing on the third string is open. Now let's go back to our vamp. That'll be our cycle. G to C. B minor. A minor. To E minor. Back to the top. G. C. So see how it starts with a chord progression, then you're going to find melodies and shapes around it. G to C, B minor. I know it's a little unusual. You could do like A minor up 2 frets. 2, 2, 0, 1. Yeah, that's it. Then E minor. Then E minor. There could be a way of doing E minor is like this. Good. 2 on the 4th, 6th, and the high string. That's a nice E minor. The other version I was playing is you play that. If you've ever played a major chord in standard tuning, it's like taking off those fingers, the second finger in the high, so you just have open strings. Yeah, that's it. And then just use the tip to play that note, and then have all the open strings, and then take off that finger too. Yeah, I love that chord. It's resonant, beautiful. Okay, now try to play some melodies. I'll play the accompaniment for you. Ready? Over G. Try to find a melody that would work for this. You don't even have to hold down the chord shapes anymore. Just like try to play something that's repetitive in a way, memorable. Try to use sequences or themes that might be catchy. Sometimes just a couple of notes that might be. And repeat that. It's simple. Go down. That could be your melody. I'll do that again. Just practice it. G. 7, 5 to 12. Then 7, 5 to open. Now you're going to do 4 to 2 on the high string. Second string open. Do a fade out on the minor. It's very dreamy and got a contemporary sound. Anyway. There are all sorts of resources that you can use now. If any of you have, most laptop computers will have some kind of recording software. I just use GarageBand or Logic sometimes, just record a percussion and try to play over it. Or just record it on your phone and play it back and try to find melodies over it.
Do you ever use a looping pedal?
Yeah, I sometimes use a loop pedal, yeah. Not often, but I had one in my closet for years, and I finally brought it out. I borrowed this electric guitar recently, and I had fun working on things with it.
The program I started just poking into called Looping Pro, which it sounds really janky from its name, but it's looping software, but also could be like a DAW.
Wow.
Or like your effects unit.
Oh, cool. It does everything. Yeah.
People do amazing things with it. And I think it would be a good practice tool with nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's great for working in your timing with the loop pedal, being able to actually turn it on and off at the right time and get a nice flow. but then for just being able to hear something back to train your ear to listen while you play, and then to start matching melodies and chords together. Anyway, that was just a little exercise. Let's try to play Hano Hano Olinda. And this song, Olinda, is a part of the island where I grew up. It's on part of Haleakala Ranch, above Makuao town. Hi there, how's it going? And when I was growing up, with my brothers and friends in our neighborhood, we'd have to walk this long gravel driveway to get to the main Olinda Road that goes up. There's a famous Hapa song, right? The Barry Flanagan Road. The rodeo's coming up, so they're advertising like that. 4th of July, that's the place to be in the islands. There's this huge rodeo. But our neighbors had a cabbage farm, and they had this little, it was actually like a pineapple delivery truck, and that was our school bus. And so we'd have to wake up, like before dawn, freezing cold. It gets cold up on the mountain in wintertime. It'd be like 40, 50 degrees, somewhere around there. Go out by the mailboxes, wait for the bus to come. It was always late, and the driver grew up in Japan, and in Japan you drive on the other side of the road, and he was still convinced that that's what you're supposed to do here. And I think actually there's rarely any other cars on this road, so I think just in his mind he would not be concentrating and switch over to the other lane. And he'd be zigzagging around these hairpin turns, and another car would be coming right at us. A friend of mine was once sitting in the front, and the door wasn't closed properly. And when the driver screeched and pulled out of the way of a car coming by, my friend literally flew out and rolled down a hill. And he was completely unharmed. I mean, these days there'd be a lawsuit, a big scandal. Everyone was just laughing. It was great. It was perfect. Anyway, so that's what this song is about, the Olinda area of Maui. There are some really beautiful farms up there. My stepfather had a protea farm, so I grew up on that growing up, and then my dad worked for the ranch. So the protea love that high elevation. If you go up to Kula, you'll see a lot. We grew king, queen, and the pincushion proteas, and a few other types you see in arrangements all the time.
What is Hana Hana?
Hana Hana is like majestic or revered or famous, respected. And this is a classic old swing tune. And one reason I wanted to look at it is that you'll see the second line towards the end, there's a 2-4 bar, then a 4-4 and 2-4. You could just think of that as 4-4 bars. But there are many Hawaiian songs that do this. And if you think of the phrasing like this, you'll be able to follow the melody a little bit easier. I'll show you what I mean. I'll play through the arrangements. This is a nice slow swing. Here's the melody. Typical alternate bass. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Those are 2-4 bars. Bounce, could be any bounce. Here's the melody again. Can you try to do accompaniment for me? It's G, G7 to C. So many songs start with these 4 bars. G, G, C, G. Then here, 1, 2, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 counts of D7, 1, 2. Then full bar D7, 2, 3. You really have to be on your toes and thinking. So it's good practice to get in with this song to get used to that. There are many other songs that do that as well. Top of the form. If you know the melody, it'll help you to kind of navigate through that tricky part. Here's C. Back to G. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. The phrasing kind of lines up when you think it like that. Down. G. C. Back to G. Now here we count. 1, 2, D7. 1, 2, still D7. Back to G. Top of the form. Melody. One, two, one. Now we'll go to the end. D7. Right. It's a really nice laid-back swing, and you can work on, you know, the phrasing, moving through it. It's an exercise, an alternate bass, right? Keeping the bass going with swing, and especially these really slower, medium-tempo, slow swing songs, like doing triplets, triplet, triplet, triplet. That really helps the feel. You can think of, if you're just strumming, there are a couple of typical swing strums. A very typical, simple one, if we just did open strings, it's just very basic, down, down, down. But you can do a little bit of an accent. Not as much as you might hear like with Django Reinhardt or like, you know, a lot of swing music where it's really, you know, bum, bum, bum. It's really hitting beat 2, but a little bit more. 1, 2. You try to do a little bit more on beat 2 and 4. And what's interesting with alternate bass, that's the 4th string. If we're playing our G chords. So sometimes you'll hear like kind of digging in a little bit with that. You can experiment with that on beat 4. Another strumming pattern that a lot of ukulele players use, it's really, really nice, is you start with an up strum and it has a triplet. It goes up, down, up, down, up. It goes up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. That's a really nice drum. So it goes, if you're counting, it's 4 and triplet 2. Then 3, and the end of 2 is and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really interesting. You end up on 1 with a down strum, but on beat 2 with an up strum. But when you don't think about it, just do it. It feels pretty natural. That creates a really nice, sort of thick bed of sound. If you listen to a Genoa Chiave album, you'll hear that on a lot of the swing songs. That sort of rhythm. Sometimes the song is done fast. It works fine. These are 6 intervals. fun with this strumming pattern. That's the same thing, just a little faster. Let's try to play the intro. It just does a G1, then a D7, but it kind of walks up. So you do a G chord, then play the D7, but with the second finger down, going to your third finger down to your pinky, and then back. So check out the first measure: 1, 2, lock chord, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So practice playing the D9 shape, and then put your pinky down. Sometimes I rotate the arm around a little bit to get that, instead of reaching forward, try to get the pinky to curve, index finger to extend. So let's try that. Ready from the beginning, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then it repeats. Measure 3. The melody starts with open strings. 1, 2, 3, then second fret. Then this chord is really pretty. You play the third fret of the fourth string. If you want to strum even the fifth string, just do a nice one. And you reach up to with the pinky at the fifth fret. This is a really nice thing for when singers sing this. You got the whole octave. And so, like, there are some great songs, like "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" does a big octave lead, but G goes up to high G. Right at that moment is where you play that third fret of the fourth string. That makes it a G7. Good. Then you just do a simple C bar at the fifth fret, and the melody moves above it. You just add the seventh fret for the high string, then back to the open strings. Those 4 bars, there's so many songs that, like Puamana uses that, Noho Pai Pai, Hene Hene Ko Aka, all these famous, jam session songs that are done often. Start with G, 2, 3 to G7, then in bar 3 of the cycle goes to C and then back. But then things get really fun here. This is where don't even worry about counting beats, just sort of keep following the bass notes. But you're going to use your first finger and do this very typical walk up 9, 10, 11 on the third string. And it jumps up to the high string. Yeah, it's very typical open and close. Try that a few times. So 5th string, walk up, 6th string, then again. 1, 2, and 3 for all quarter notes after the first 8th note. The next measure could really be any sort of D7 to G phrase, but the typical melody is this. You drop down to your G shape, 7, 8, 9, and that's measure 12. Then any sort of vamp after that. So from the open and close positions, the intervals of 6. Then 9th fret, 8th fret, back. Vamp. Does everyone know that vamp? That's a must know, right? The classic. Measure 14. Let's try it a few times. Make sure you got it ready. And 1, and 2, and first fret, high string, slide to the 5th fret of the high string. Yep, that's good. Yep. Let's repeat back to measure 5. Let's play the melody. Here's that nice high note. I think that makes the song. That's my favorite part, is that high note. Here's So walk up. Ninth fret, 8th and the 2nd, hammer on. And any kind of amp you want to do here, D7 to G. That's the song form. You can repeat as many times as you want with variations and solos. Back to measure 5. Here's the G7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. Repeat again, measure 5. Yeah, Jim, that's right. Both together. Let's just play through the progression. If you want to do variations, G open. C. Just simple, just how to keep the feel going. Now here are 2 counts. 1, 2, D7, 2. And think of an extra little 2 beats here, but stay on D7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah. D7. Alright, play the accompaniment again. C. 1, 2, D7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, D7, 2, 3, 4, G. Takes a little bit of practice to get used to those 2 4 bars, but it's interesting how they were common in a lot of traditional songs. Melody. One more shot at the melody. Let's go. Measure 5. G. Once you start getting a feel for it, you might do little rhythmic changes, maybe playing an upbeat instead of downbeat. Throwing in little embellishments here and there. Like maybe here I'll go. I played an upbeat. Let's go to the end, do 1 vamp. Measure 15. Then the final vamp. We can slow down here. Let's slow down. You sneak up on the 3rd string. And I do a slide all with the 1st finger. All right. Did you bring the Bose, the mighty Bose speakers?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember how we've kind of all week we've been learning some traditional songs, and then now we have it in our ear. We're getting the flow of it. Now let's listen to a vocal version and try to follow along with what's playing. It might be in a different key. I think I think the version I'm going to look up is in the key of F. Let's see. Sorry, a little noisy right now, but we'll crank it up.
I'll cut out the noise.
Yeah. Let's make sure I got it. Yep. Bose is connected. Woohoo! And there's a great group from Maui, Navai Eha, they're called, and the 4 Waters of Maui. But we listened to Linda Dela Cruz earlier in the week, and I want to stick with Auntie Linda. We heard her do Beautiful Kahana. Oh, she's swinging it. Yeah. Here's that part. When you played off the beat, right? Now listen to the octave jump in her voice. This is Auntie Linda. That's the hook in the song. And then this part. falsetto. It's great for falsetto singers. Woo! Right? Okay, everyone, I think it's F. Try it. Is it an F? Listen to how heavy on the beat the rhythm playing is. It's that old style, like 40s. Yeah, 40s. This is, you want the plywood bass, not the regular kind. It has to be plywood that gets that big boom sound. Great steel playing. Let's count. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You don't have to feel it that way, but the phrasing kind of lines up with that. Right? 4 chord here. 1, 1, 4, 1. So many songs start with that. Then we're just going to 5. 1, 2, 1. 1. And they do a 2, 5, 1 band, like A7, D7. Iini is chilly. She's talking about in the Ulu. Oh, it's a C. Oh, yeah. It's a C. See if you can find the chords. It'd be a G7, open strings. Jump, 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 jump. Back to C. And here we're going to G7, G7, C. Just those chords. C, C7, F. The 4 chord. F, 2, back to C. 1, 2, G7. Cold mornings. Kakahiaka, inikiniki. Shit, it's such a beautiful island. Yeah, love it. Isn't that great? This album, Linda Dela Cruz, which is on YouTube, if you remember that name, Linda Dela Cruz. Think of Oh Linda.
Why is she that? She wants her break right at the octave.
Yeah, it's using, and it's 6 intervals too. Like there are a few Helen Deshay Beamer songs that actually are written like, it feels so easy for us on the guitar, you just play one string to the next, but a vocalist uses that break to do those 6 intervals.
Did you know there's a Tiki Lounge radio station on Sundays, 5 to 7, on 365, 365 radio.
But, okay. Nice. Let's hear another, this is the Makaha Serenaders. A little bit more laid back. The bass is up louder in the mix. But the same idea. I got it. That gives you another idea, feel. Let's listen to a contemporary version from this group, a Maui group called Navai Eha. Let's try to find this. Just loading, 1 second. 4 singers, and they're going for the lead, Koyohana, electric. I like he starts under the note and goes up to it, right? It's really nice. What key is this? Anyone can know? F? F. So C is a good wahine key, F is a good prevent. Ooh, jazz harmony. Yeah, 4-part harmony. That's your best. Oh, that is really nice. This is the one more verse. start to feel the cycle. It's going to become more familiar. So that group is called Navai Eha. Navai Eha refers to on Maui the 4 sources of water from the West Maui Mountains. So you've heard of Waikapu, Wai'ehu, there's Wailuku. So this is all the sources, and Waihe'e. He'e is the octopus. Luku was where there was a battle, the red, like the blood that ran down the river. Waikapu is forbidden waters, but these 4 sources of water are these ancient wells, and there's a lot of controversy on the island who owns the rights to them. And the cane industry did for, all the way back to the mid 1800s. When they went out of business, the big question was, isn't it going to be returned to all of the farmers? And a little bit has, but not much. It's one of those things. Water is such an issue in so many places. So anyway, this group is named after that. Those waters.
What are they? Navai?
Eha's 4. And a friend of mine who works at Pu'ukukui up here, they do research, and apparently it takes 20 years for rain that falls today to work its way through. You think of water would find a way pretty quickly, but to actually make it into the aquifer, it takes 20 years. So we're drinking water from years ago. And the worry is that it's been pretty dry. So 20 years from now, there's going to be much less water.
Like the aquifers and the mainland.
Yeah.
Same problem there, getting rain.
You'd never think of that here with the rainforests and the valleys, right?
Water will be the next big commodity.
Yeah, definitely.
Could we try it now?
It's
Sunday,
really hard
and
to work.
they're up on the side of the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
They're-
Oh, good, you got
They're
to-
using that water.
Oh,
They
wow.
talked about using
Yeah.
irrigation.
Pure.
Canals in Lahaina. Originally.
There are canals. Yeah. That's a great point. Before, when Lahaina used to be the capital of the kingdom, and it was like Venice. There were water canals that went all through the streets of Lahaina. If you talk to Wainani, she's really knowledgeable. She used to give walking tours of where the things, the different waterways were. But think of that, the water flowing before it was tapped for other parts of the island, just flowing down from the mountain. I heard stories too that when there was much more water here in Lahaina, it attracted the trees, and the more plants attracted the rain clouds that wrapped around the island forming Makena, and that cloud swept out to Koho'olave. And so there was this connective cloud that reached around like arms around the island. And when they overgrazed Koho'olave, the cloud pulled back, and so it doesn't reach as far because there isn't as much forest on the island. Interesting. How's it? Let's try to play it now. Now we have it really in our ear, right? We've heard some vocal versions. I'll play it so you get an idea. I borrowed the second version that we heard. This is the intro from that recording. Here's the melody. Now you can think of that falsetto break here. And all the falsetto jumps here. And sometimes it goes. Any vamp you want. Some of them do the A7, G7. It's just a traditional form. But it's really good exercise for trying and getting coordination with the alternate bass while playing the melody. Play accompaniment for you. do some kind of variation. Maybe just accompaniment to start. First position. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Back to G. Let's do 2-5 then. We'll do a different ending. Typical. Woo! Alright. Nice song, right? It's a really unique melody, and it's like gymnastic, vocal gymnastics for the singers doing those big jumps. Yeah.
Big mahalo, Jeff.
Big mahalo to you guys.
Thank you.
That was so much fun. It was a great week.